Hello, Paul is the best for UK here and welcome to another video. This video is about the XBERRY Pi, an entry-level Spectrum Next clone. Have you ever pondered in life, wondering, looking at the city skyline, thinking, ooh, I'm sitting on a bench and I want the perfect Spectrum that's not an emulator and it runs on an FPGA core? Well, there's the obvious choice, the Spectrum Next. That can be out of reach for some people because it's quite expensive, but this is a 100 quid device. That's a Spectrum Next FPGA clone, so not to be confused with its confusing branding. This is not a Raspberry Pi device at all, even though it does have the GPIO header and stuff. But this is a Spectrum Next FPGA clone, and it is also capable of running BBC Model B and master cores as well, but we won't go into that. I've added this £3.75 Wi-Fi module to mine. Very easy to do and very easy to find. Just find them on eBay. This is the wrong size battery, but it's all I had at hand. This is for the RTC clock built in, and to add the Wi-Fi module, all you have to do is put it in this 8-pin header here. Very easy to do, quite tight fit, but it works fine. This is a must-have, this Wi-Fi module. Make sure you buy one. Only £3.75 on eBay or thereabouts, and it will really open up this system. You'll thank me for that later. So yeah, here's the device itself with the Wi-Fi module installed. So let's have a look at what this thing can do. Now you will realise that this is not an emulator. This is not C-Spect. I have done a video about C-Spect running on a Raspberry Pi before. This is not a Raspberry Pi like I said earlier in the video. It's actual FPGA core. So let's have a look at this. We've got our speed modes, of course. You press left and right on the main menu for that, so you can like accelerate games. Let's have a look at some Next specific titles first of all. But before we do that, let's have a look at the Wi-Fi setup. You go to Tools, providing you've got the Wi-Fi dongle, you can use this to connect to your modern internet. So cool. So you just go for scan networks and you find your SSID and connect to it with your Wi-Fi key, etc. But let's have a look at some Next specific games on this. Let's have a look at this 4K race. The device comes with a preloaded 16GB micro SD card full of software. At least it does if you get it from ZXRedo website. So this is 4K race. You can actually speed up this loading by pressing the key. And there we go, look at that, Spectrum Next native software running. So definitely a very easy and cheap way to get into Spectrum Next, providing you can find one, because last time I checked the website they're out of stock now. I paid 99 quid for this and I'm really happy with my purchase. Bass Invaders is another Spectrum Next native game created by the community, and as you can see, very good Space Invaders clone. Maybe programmed in BASIC, that's why it's called Bass Invaders perhaps. Brilliant stuff. Angry Bloaters is like a Bomberman Dino Blaster style clone written for the Spectrum Next. Works just perfectly fine. In fact, I'm yet to find any game that doesn't work. This is the first time I've ever played this game on this system because it wouldn't work in C-Spec last time I tried. So this is great stuff. I always wanted to play this, but I never got to play it because I've never had a Spectrum Next. So this is Retro Revival Survival. It's sort of based on the Revival events, sort of outings. I've been to a few of them myself, and yeah, this is like a cool game that runs on the Spectrum Next. And this Spectrum Next clone, it runs perfectly fine. And of course the classic Warhawk works just fine. Full speed, no problems. Now for this next game you're going to have to update the core. So to do that, hold down U whilst powering on the system. And make sure you got the core obviously on your SD card. And yeah, we're going to have to go to 3.02. Now this is something really cool. Check this out. This is a remake of Attic Attack and it's very impressive. How cool is that? It's even got the beeper sounds. Look at that for a remake. I'm sure you agree, that's pretty darn cool. Now let's have a look at some more of its capabilities. So we'll come out of Attic Attack and we will look at the paint package. This is Spectrum Next paint package. Now with one of these splitter cables you can add a mouse to the system. It's only got one PS2 port. And now look at this, a paint package running on the Spectrum Next using an actual PC PS2 mouse. That is so cool. Draw a little picture here on this system. So I think this art package is called Plot It, and I think it's Next exclusive, written especially for the Next. How cool is that? stamps and everything on the art package. Really fun and really fun to play with. You can also save your pictures and stuff, and when you save your picture, it will save it directly onto your SD card for later loading up. So that is really cool. But what's even more cooler, well, I don't know if it's more cooler, but it's still cool nevertheless, is you can also run classic Spectrum paint packages from back in the day that support Kempston mouse. So as long as the application can support Kempston mouse, it will work in this as well. How cool. I forgot what this one's called, but it's an 80s paint package. Looks like it's ahead of its time as well. I've never used this one before. Yep, so the mouse works fine in classic Spectrum software as well. Now, one thing I haven't shown in the video but to mention about this system as well is you can run all the cores. You can run all the systems such as Spectrum 48, Spectrum 128 plus 2, Spectrum 128 Toast Rack, Spectrum plus 3. They are all selectable as well, just in case you want to go nostalgia and you don't want to run the Spectrum next to that particular time. One thing that's even more cooler is you can connect a vintage tape recorder to the device via 3.5mm jack, and you can actually even load original cassettes on this device as well. So cool. Do you want to know what's cool as well? I love the way you can do textures on this old paint package, but what is really cool is included on the included SD card. Is that too many included words? If you go into tools, we've got something called ZXDBDL. Now, if you go all the way to the bottom, where it says ZXDBloader.bas, this will use your Wi-Fi network. You can actually search for Spectrum games just from this interface. This is why the Wi-Fi module is so important, because you can actually load games without even, and download them without even having to take the SD card out. How cool is that? So you can get them directly from the server that this uses, and there we go. So it does it in a few seconds, and there we go. Stunt Car Racer, look at that. Not all games are on it, but the majority are, and that's really cool, I think. I was well impressed with that. These other services on this, such as Nextel, which is sort of like a Prestel style teletext viewer. I haven't got this footage on this video, but it's there. Really cool little device for 100 quid. So one thing I haven't demonstrated, which I'm about to, is the speed differences on the different MHZ modes. So if we go into Stunt Car Racer, for example, you can see it's quite a slow speed because the original game was quite slow. But if you press F8 on the keyboard, I do apologise about the notification noises, you can control the speed of the game by pressing F8. Makes it much more higher frame rate, and is quite kind of neat, to be honest. You can experiment with that. Some games run far too fast. Some games it does sort of improve the gameplay a little bit as well. So that's pretty cool, pretty innovative. There you can just change the CPU. It's not an emulator, I don't think. I think it's FPGA. You can change the speed at any time. So have a look at Castle Master. Very slow game. See, really slow, really chugs along on original Spectrum. But if we press F8, we can speed it up a bit. Look at that, it's running too fast now. So yeah, that's really cool. I do like things like that. Outrun now. Again, a pretty slow game, and it was criticised for being slow. One of my favourite games though. And you press F8 on the keyboard and you can speed up the frame rate substantially. See, look at it now. So yeah, pretty cool that you can do that on Spectrum Next. Whoa, that's a bit too fast. That's at 28 megahertz. That's too fast. So yeah, it's fun to play with that. F8 at any time on a Spectrum game. So in conclusion, this is a brilliant device, 10 out of 10. I first learned about this device on the RetroTech 100 website on Facebook, and check out RetroTech 100's official video about this device as well, and I'll put a link in the description for it. And yep, so I'd like to thank you for watching. Have a pleasant evening, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, and 10 out of 10.